Now, they're going to say, damn, that was thoughtful. Now, what did it cost? Nothing. But we don't think that way. Why do they say that? Yeah. Because they know you won't. You'll just leave.
Right.
When the doctor says to me, "You got 2 minutes," here's what I say: "That's too bad." Now, what are they going to say? Why is that? I'll say, well, because what I want to do today is going to take 3 or 4 minutes of your undivided attention. And if you can't do that now, when can I come back?
Wow.
Now, over half the time, they say, well, do it right now. The only reason they say that is because they're trying to get rid of you. And they're getting rid of you because you sound like every other jackass who came in here and tried to sell me something.
Wow.
Now, Brendan Kane wrote a book called Hook Point. I don't suggest it because it's not. He's got one thing, and it's actually a very good book. But as it relates to what we do for a living, the one thing he says, and it's very simple, like mystery, surprise, and curiosity. But he says that the reps that succeed are people who employ pattern interruption that makes me want to learn more. Mm-hmm. So let me give you a simple example. When I go in and call on a physician, here's what I say: can we do something different today? Now, how many people in pharma or medical sales do you think say that?
Not many.
Nobody. And they all say, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't want to sell you anything. Boom. Now, what happened when I say I don't want to sell you anything? What happens to sales resistance?
Right.
It's gone. And I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, hey, here's what I'd like to do. I said, what I'd like to do with our time is to ask you some questions about this therapeutic area, whether it's a medical device or whether it's a pharmaceutical product, and get your thoughts on how, listen to these words, because words matter. It's on the back of my business. How physicians like you decide which to choose when you have so many options.
Wow.
So I don't say, how do you do it? Because that puts them on the spot. But if I say, how do physicians like you? Then I'll usually ask some questions that are related to the attributes of the product. How important is, the fact that we can, I've got a buddy who's selling something for, STEMI heart attacks, and it's a phenomenal product. But I'd ask questions. Well, how important is it that you actually, get these patients, to have, better reperfusion as quickly as you can, because they have this supersaturated oxygen. It's phenomenal. But my point is, I'm going to be prepared to try and understand what they think. I mean, this ain't rocket science.
Right.
I cannot change what you think until I know what you think. And the vast majority of people in pharma, medical sales, I would submit to you, don't really find out what people think because they don't ask the right questions. They don't create the environment where the customer wants to tell you what they're thinking. I'll give you a simple example. With one company. I was working with a rep, and he's a gastroenterologist, and he was in Miami. He's Cuban. So she begs him for 2 minutes. And I felt sorry for her and him because you could tell he did not want it. I guess he thought I was her grandfather or something, and he let her make the call. So when he got finished, I said this: now people should learn this. You should always never forget what I'm about to say. Say, can I ask you a personal question? If you say that to anybody at the end of a call, 99% of the people say, sure, what do you want to know? Again, it's pattern interruption that makes me want to learn more. Now, when I said that, he said, yeah, what do you want to know? And I said, are you from Philadelphia? Now, understand, I'm in Miami. I'm in the Cuban doctors. Are you from Philadelphia? He said, how do you know that? I said, well, there's a picture of you over there in the Veterans Stadium. I can't imagine you'd let anybody take that picture if you weren't from Philly. He talked to me for 20 minutes. He told me 12 things that he did not tell her. When we went out, I said, let me ask you a question. How much of what he told me do you know? He told me about his wife. He told me where he went to college. He told me where his wife went, where she went before she wound up in Philly. He told me his son was a savant. He told me about his baseball players that were patients, yada, yada, yada. And I'm saying, how much of this did you know? She said, none of it. And I said, okay. I had 20 minutes with him. You had 2. And I'm saying to myself,
yeah,
I want you to want to talk to me.
Yes.
Because I actually give a damn about you.
Exactly.
And so anyway, I'm big on unexpected thoughtful acts, big time. So I'll give you an example. Let's say,
okay,
So you're talking to a doctor and she says she's going to New Orleans for her wedding anniversary.
Okay.
So what do you do with that information? The average person does absolutely nothing. That's not what I do. I call the New Orleans, probably Ritz-Carlton, and say, hey, do me a favor. I said, can you give me the names of 2 or 3 restaurants that these people would never go to? And I don't want, Galatoire's. I don't want Emerald's. Just, something that's local. And they'll give you 3 things. I said, look, the next time I come in, I would tell the doctor, I'd say, hey, you told me you were going to go to New Orleans. I called the Ritz-Carlton. They gave me the name of these 3 restaurants. If you get a chance, go there. Want to go to one of them, see what it's like.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to say, damn, that was thoughtful. Yeah. Now, what did it cost? Nothing. But we don't think that way.